Every Major League Baseball team, every one of them, begins play tomorrow, and we start a long season. Of course, we're the home of the Yankees here, 104.5 A Team, ESPN Radio. They're on the road to begin in Toronto. Let's bring on Gary Phillips, who covers the Yankees for the Sporting News and FanRag Sports, and also covers the Jets, and we'll get into that a little bit as well. A little twofold. Gary Phillips, good morning, Gary. Roger Weiland, Chris Honorado, 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio in Albany.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Roger. How are you guys doing?
We're good, man.
Gary?
We are good, and I know the Yankee fans are wound up, and I guess for good reason, right? I mean, is there any reason to believe this Yankee team will not be 1 or 2 in the American League East and won't win, 90, 95 games this season?
That's the mark that I've kind of been setting for this team, 95 wins. I think that's a really good over-under for them. When you look at the competition throughout the rest of the American League, you got teams like the Astros, the Indians, the Red Sox are going to be really good in the division. But you look at the talent on this team, and it's hard to figure out how they don't come up with 95 wins.
That's what I'm saying. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Giancarlo Stanton, and National League MVP last year, 59 home runs, 132 driven in. How do you think he will fit in the pinstripes, in Yankee Stadium, in New York? What kind of year do you think Giancarlo Stanton is going to have with the Yankees?
Well, as far as the fit goes, I think he's going to get along in that clubhouse just fine. He doesn't really have a superstar's personality. I think he's a guy who's calm, collected. He's maybe a little more outspoken than the typical Yankee that's been brought up through the system is, but I think he's going to get along just fine in that clubhouse, and he has so far with no issues. As for his on-the-field production, I think he's going to be great. He always is if he's healthy. He's got tremendous protection in that lineup with Aaron Judge and Gary Sanchez, Didi Gregorius. Greg Bird comes back healthy, hopefully, so I don't see any reason for him not to be in at least the 35, 40 home run mark, and that's a huge step away from what he did last year.
Gary Phillips with us here on Big Board Sports 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. Check him out on Twitter at Gary H. Phillips. Writes about the Yankees for the Sporting News and FanRag Sports. Gary, Chris Honorado here with Roger. Tell us a little bit about what you've noticed inside this Yankees locker room since the Greg Bird news. Roger and I are kind of on different sides of the fence here. I will admit they've set themselves up well for an injury in terms of having Neil Walker ready to go, having Tyler Austin there as well. But to me, it's a big loss, and I think it's a bigger loss than most people are making it out to be. What do you think?
I think right now they're actually pretty well prepared to be missing Bird. If you look back at last season, they had guys like Chris Carter, Ji-Man Choi come up from the minor leagues. Chase Headley played a little bit of first base. They really put all their eggs in the Greg Bird basket without much of a contingency. Now you have the Neil Walker signing, which is looking better by the day. He provides versatility all across the infield. He's going to play some first base in Bird's absence. He's a switch hitter added to that lineup. And then Tyler Austin had a really good spring training. He's got some pop. He's going to be in there against left-handed pitchers. I would expect him to be in the starting lineup tomorrow against J.A. Happ. And behind them, there's some more depth in the minor leagues. They just got Mike Ford back in the Rule 5 draft. They got Billy McKinney, who had a powerful spring. So for now, I think they're okay. Now, if Greg Bird's injury turns out to be prolonged, which was the case last year and they weren't ready for it, then you start looking at maybe adding a free agent signing or bringing somebody else over in a trade. But for now, I think they're doing okay.
What is so intimidating about the Yankees? Let's go to a weakness. I'm not sold on Yankee starting pitching being off the charts good. Well, why am I intimidated about Severino, Tanaka, CC, Gray, or Montgomery? I'm not seeing that. I get this team is going to hit. This team is going to score runs. I get all the fanfare about Stanton. I'm not seeing this starting rotation being all that good.
I don't think it's going to be a bad rotation. I don't think it's going to be a great rotation. I think it's going to be right in between there. I think you're banking a lot on Severino repeating what he did last year, which I certainly think he's capable of just from talking to him. You look at the numbers he put up in big, quote-unquote, big games last year. This kid is the real deal, I think. As for Tanaka, he finished the year on an incredibly high note between the second half of the regular season and the postseason. Sabathia is going to be what he's been for the last year or so. You know, he's not going to wow you, but he's going to give you 5-6 strong innings, hopefully, and get you through the day. And, I mean, Sonny Gray's got to be one of the best number 4 pitchers in baseball. I know he's only in that spot because the Yankees are splitting up the lefties, Montgomery and Sabathia, but it's going to be harder to find a better 4th guy in a rotation than him. And as for Montgomery, kind of the same situation with Severino. They're banking a lot on a kid who only has 1 solid year of production under his belt. But you can go ahead and compare Montgomery's numbers to what somebody like Clayton Kershaw did in his rookie season, and you're going to see that Montgomery was better than Kershaw. I'm not saying he's going to turn into the same exact pitcher, but there is a lot of positives in this rotation and a lot to be excited about. I think you look at the youth of Severino and Montgomery and even Gray, and you think, these guys have not reached their full potential yet. So is this going to be the best rotation in baseball? No, but I think it's certainly going to be good enough to get them to where they want to be.
All right, Gary, can you help us sort out the crowded outfield? What I know he's just getting some live swings now as he tries to come back from a concussion. Does Clint Frazier have any place in this big league outfield?
Well, right now it doesn't look like it. You got Gardner left, Dixon center, right center, DH, and him and Judge will flip up a little of both places. Field right now, though, Tyler Wade is running your 5th fielder. You're planning on always keeping one of those guys in the DH role. So depending on how quickly he comes back, how he performs in some minor league rehab, maybe Frazier can make it back up here pretty soon. But the Yankees are going to also have to make a similar decision, which Kobe Ellsbury, who, as you all know, has a much more intrusive contract that kind of demands from being on the roster. So it's going to be interesting to see how things shake out. They don't have to make any of those decisions right now, fortunately for them, with Frazier and Ellsbury being hurt. And the depth is still there, so that's not an issue for them.
Gary, appreciate the time. Your cell starting to break up with the cell service there, but we appreciate it. We'll get back in touch. Gary, thanks again covering the Yankees for the Sporting News. We'll get back in touch because I want to get into the Jets a little bit too, but